Like, shake my business partner's hand, but don't shake my hand. Sorry, what now?
Wow.
Yeah. Or like, or I say, have you got any questions in person? They say no. And then they go to a colleague and ask them a question. Questions. And I'm standing there like, I'm a business owner here.
But they don't know that. That's really cheeky.
I don't think they care. Either they think that I'm really stupid and I know nothing about cars, or they are just being that, like, just being stupid. I don't know. I really don't know. But there's been so much where I've just been like, you just want to face palm. Just want to
face palm is a polite way of putting it.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Know Nothing. Today's guest is a leading female voice in fintech and business. In 2020, Leanne Holder joined Giving2 Services, a crypto charity platform designed to give back to public service professionals such as the military, fire personnel, the police, and the NHS. And within 2 years of becoming head of relations, she was appointed as CEO. Today, the platform has 1.5 billion tokens from UK users and aims to scale globally in the near future. Alongside this, she is the owner of Race Car Box, Pink Detailing Collection, and Vit Coffee. So welcome to the studio, Leanne. So this is a really random fact that I found when I was researching you for this episode. And it actually did make me laugh. So massive shout out to my publicist, Lois, who helps you find all of the guests for the podcast. And when she sent me your name to be like, oh, what do you think about Leanne? I was like, I know you. I was like, I definitely recognize this name. I've 100% met her before. And this is the bit that's really funny for me, is that for people that have been following my journey into the public eye from like way over 2 years ago, you'll remember some charming tabloids sharing some very young photos of me at a beauty pageant where they labeled them as my before surgery photos. Just want to clarify, I was 17. So if I didn't look different, then it would be a little bit of a concern considering it's been 11 years. But the twist is that you were actually the first runner-up at the pageant I was in. And I did find some really fun, cute photos of us, actually. I understand why people thought the pictures of me were questionable. You look so cute in yours, though.
I don't know, the hair was it's outdated, isn't it?
Yeah, 11 years ago, both our hair was very on trend, though.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
That's what I'm telling myself to make myself feel better. But
we can hope.
I just find it so funny, like looking at the photos, and like it's amazing to see how much our paths have like changed in the 11 years.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like it's been so long and we've done so much, but I think it's kind of cool that we've come back at this moment.
Yeah, it's really kind of, nice nostalgia. It's nice, yeah. But we were talking about whether you would do another pageant.
Yeah, I would do another one. Definitely would do another one. I feel very much that I'd need to kind of get myself into training again. Like,
are you joking? You're in incredible shape.
Oh, I mean, like as in pageant.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you're crazy.
Like, no, as in like walking, standing, posing, and stuff like that. Because you just feel like if you're going to do it, you're going to do it properly, aren't you?
Yeah, 100%.
There's no point. Like, you want to have fun, go there, and be confident doing it. I would totally do one, yeah.
I think you should. I'd love to see you at another pageant. Because I didn't realise you competed again after that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would, even just for vibes, it's good for your self-confidence.
Yeah,
like, I enjoy
and it's fun, isn't it? And you meet loads of cool people.
Exactly. So, but, before you go and win your next pageant title, you did get Forbes 30 under 30 this year.
I did, yeah.
Which, I'm just amazed by everyone that I meet that has been given that award. What was it like when you realised that you were going to be on that list?
Really weird feeling, because I've had that on my vision board for years and years. So that was on like the back of my door. I had loads of different things on there, then onto my laptop screen, and then onto my phone screen. So I've been like manifesting, visualizing, like I really want this. And then like I was 30 this year, so I was like, this is my last, like this last one, my last chance. And then I got the email and I was just like, oh my God, I did it. And then the weird thing is, after that, you have like an amazing couple of days, because you kind of like your family and your friends like, yeah, well done, you feel really good about yourself. And then after that, you're like, oh, I did it. I need to, you've done it, and it's amazing. But you're like, oh, I've done it now. What's my next goal? So it's like this amazing elation, and you feel so proud of yourself. And still, I'm like, this is great. Like, this is really cool. But now I'm like, what's now? What's next? You always want that next thing, don't you?
True.
Like,
I never thought about it like that, because you can't really, you can't get it again, can you?
You can't get it again. So like, I've done it, but that was my like main goal. That was my like dream goal. Like, I want to do this. I want to get on the Forbes. And I didn't even know what category, because I didn't even know like where my life was going to take me.
Yeah.
So I got into the finance category, which as a woman, I'm so pleased about, because I bet years ago it was all guys.
Yeah,
I can always guarantee it. So like for women, you know, I feel amazing about that. I'm so happy. But now I'm like, that was my main goal. Like, I need to think bigger. So it's like, yeah, amazing feeling and so happy. But now I'm really like, what now?
It's
what
always
next?
one of those really annoying tasks, isn't it? Well, not annoying tasks. It's like if you didn't get it, but you'd already passed 30 and you just know, like, you kind of feel like, is my worth now determined by my achievements pre-30 as opposed to the rest of my life?
Yeah, it's these achievements are amazing. They're great when you get them. But actually, when you think about it, like, it's happened now, it's done.
Yeah.
People won't really remember. Like, I'll do something else. And so it's one of those ones where, like, there's a lot of pressure to think, like, oh, I really want to do this. But having done it now, I'm like, if I hadn't have got it, my life wouldn't have changed. I might have been a bit disappointed, oh, I didn't make this. Ugh. And I'd have found something else to do. The same way I am now, like, oh, I found something else to kind of work towards.
Yeah.
So I think they're amazing and great achievements, but I think like people who pressurize themselves, like I did, I was like, I'm going to get on the list. Like, I am doing this. Like, when I look back, I think it didn't even matter whether I hadn't of, because regardless, the things that people do who are like, want to get on that list, they're all amazing achievements as well. Like, so I think, yay, I got it, but there's other people who didn't that have done incredible things as well. And they should be just as proud of themselves just for their journey anyway, even if they didn't get on it.
I always, the last person I spoke to that on this podcast that had been put on the list, I was shocked to find out that you don't get a trophy or an award.
You literally
I took it really personally, and it wasn't even my honour.
That's it. You're just on the list and that's it. I think you get taken seriously.
Okay.
So from my point of view, the biggest thing to come out of it is that people take you seriously, and when they see that against your name, they go, oh, you must be big. You know what you're doing. So then you're more likely to get things like speaking roles at conferences, or because you've got like so someone has essentially said, yes, she is good at what she does. Okay. You've got that recognition, like name. Validation. They validated it, right? So I guess that's the biggest thing, is you get doors open to you that potentially you wouldn't have.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, work hard enough. The doors, like, knock the door down yourself.
Yeah. Do
you know what I mean? If you want something, get it. Go for it. So
you put it so much nicer than me. I just wanted the nice shiny award. That's what it is.
Yeah, I did want one, to be fair.
Just make your own one.
I could make my own. Yeah.
But how did you, like, I want to know about your career journey up to this point. So, you know, I don't even know. Did you go to university? What did you study? Like, how did you get to the decision that you wanted to be in fintech?
It has been the weirdest journey. Like, so strange. So I started off doing a dance degree.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like nothing business related, nothing tech related, nothing finance related. I did dance. Then while I was doing my degree, I joined the army.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, so literally this is random. So I joined the army. I was in the army for 2 years as an army reservist. Then I decided I wanted to go into the fitness side of things. So kind of lose the dance, but kind of go into fitness. So I did my personal training qualifications in my third year, whilst in the army and doing uni. So like
made
work.
It really easy for yourself.
Yeah, totally. And then I graduated, had my personal training stuff, and I decided to do a master's in strength and conditioning. So that is training athletes, so athlete performance, nutrition, and essentially being a coach in fitness and nutrition. So I did the master's degree, got headhunted for a job at Loughborough, coaching their athletes, which was fab. I was like, amazing. This is the perfect job straight out of it. You know, I'm doing what I want to do. Then I got made redundant. So they basically kind of shut the department down and used the university's like facilities, and essentially the job role was made redundant. So I was like, oh, I now have no job. So I can't really go back to dance because I'm kind of like done that now.
Yeah.
I'm out of the army now. I've got my master's degree, but I've now just been made redundant. Like, what do I do? Because the roles are so few and far between. I was like, I need to get money for like rent. Do you know what I mean? I need to rent, I need food. Yeah. And my partner, who is now my husband, was doing strength and conditioning as well. So we both had the same role. We were both heads of department. And obviously we then were both made unemployed.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it wasn't just me that was made redundant, it was him. So we were like, we're both unemployed now.
Double pressure.
What do we do? Yeah. So we were like, let's start a business because we need money now. So while we're looking for other jobs, let's start a business. And we're both completely like lovers of cars, anything motorsport related, anything car related. And I was like, it has to be in something to do with cars. Like that's just where it naturally fell to do that. And so we basically just went for a long walk and we're just discussing like business models. And I was like, what about subscriptions? Because you know you've got regular income. Because obviously if someone's subscribing into a contract, income every month, brilliant. If you can make enough to pay the rent, we're in, you know, we're quids in there. So I was saying about how beauty subscriptions were like massive, like Glossybox, Birchbox.
I was a big user of them.
I was like, what about cars? What about like guy stuff, yeah? And girls who were into that instead of into beauty or into both. Like there isn't really anything for us.
Yeah.
You know, myself as someone who likes beauty, who likes cars, like what have I got? I've got beauty, but I haven't got the other side.
Yeah.
So we thought about it. We looked at market research and there was no one really doing it. And I was like, let's do it. Like, let's make a subscription box for cars. And then we were like, hang on, so how can we do this? And I said, car cleaning, because it's consumable. Every month you're going to use up the shampoo, the snow foam, the quick detail, the tyre dressing, and you're going to need more. So therefore it kind of warrants a subscription model, because if you've used it up, you're going to want to do it. So that's what we did. We started that and basically made a website, kind of didn't really know what we were doing, but made a website, made an Instagram account. Literally didn't really know the detailing industry that well at all, because I know motorsport well and cars well, but cleaning them, I was sort of like, oh, you know what I mean?
Someone else to do it.
Someone else to do it. But anyway, made a business in it, and it just took off like massively. And we were like, whoa, okay, this is like, you know, better than I thought. But it wasn't enough to kind of cover fully what we wanted to do. So we both got jobs. I went and worked as a personal trainer in a gym, because obviously I already had the qualifications, whilst doing the business on the side, until it got to the point where the business was making enough money that essentially I could quit the job and just go for that. And so that's essentially what happened, went into business. And that was my first kind of real leg into the business and e-commerce side of things. And then bought another business after that as well, and just kind of had a couple of businesses running, spreading time thinly, not really knowing what I was doing, completely winging the business well, considering as I had no qualifications, no experience in it, but was doing well.
Yeah.
And finding my feet and kind of working it out. And being a woman in the industry where there wasn't any women, just kind of like making it work. And then from there, I've always had this kind of like philanthropy thing. I've always wanted to help people. Like it's just there. And I saw that, you know, there was a company that were trying to essentially help people. And I approached them. I said, look, how can I help? Is there anything I can do to help? Whether that is like hosting events for veterans, because I knew it was to do with the services. And obviously having been an army reservist, I was like, I'd like to help. And essentially it kind of just led to a big conversation of, would you like to take on a role part-time? And I was like, actually, I don't really have any free time, but I'm going to do it anyway. Like, I'll make the time. I'll just find it somewhere. So that I became head of relations. Then I moved into head of partnerships. And then I was appointed to the role of CEO. And then from there, Forbes, basically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So from dance to finance and everything in between.
Really logical journey. I think I've been sat here like racking it in my brain, like there's really
no logic.
Thinking.
A lot of it's been guesswork, and a lot of it's been winging it, genuinely, and not even having a plan, but falling into things and going, yeah, all right, I'll do it.
I do think a lot of people that have made big names for themselves just wing life.
Just wing it.
And figure out where to go.
If an opportunity comes up and you're like, I might not be qualified, but I like the sound of it, I'm just going to give it. I'll learn on the job. I'll put my all into it. Then go for it.
I did see on like platforms like LinkedIn, that tends to be why women maybe don't do as well, because they feel like they need to be 100% qualified for something before they go for it, as opposed to just going for it anyway.
Yep.
And I have found, like, even my own experiences, if I've just gone for something and hoped for the best, it actually just works out well.
Yeah.
But the platform you're talking about is called Giving to Services.
Yeah.
So you said it is to help like people in obviously in services, but what actually is the platform?
So it's essentially cryptocurrency. So it's blockchain technology. So it's using cryptocurrency for people to obviously invest their money in if they choose to. There's a rewards platform that enables you to essentially gain more tokens, so more cryptocurrency, the longer you lock in your tokens. So a bit like a bank, you lock in your money for interest. Similar sort of thing in the crypto industry. And the idea is that rewards from that 4% of those kind of get put into a big pot and then get distributed to the services.
Okay.
So that is like healthcare, so like NHS, military, fire, police, security services. Still very much a startup, still very much working a lot of things out, working out a lot of like solutions and stuff, but it's essentially is people who invest in the crypto token know that some of the rewards that they're going to have go to those people in the services.
Okay.
It's something new, it's something innovative, which I think is why it's difficult, because we're still kind of working out.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the same as everything else I've ever done. So, I'm not scared of that challenge. But it's exciting, and the thing with blockchain and technology is that it's always constantly changing. So they're like, who knows what's going to happen next year, because technology, people can create things and everything moves. So it's going to shift and it's going to pivot, which is exciting. But yeah, it's basically just is doing good through crypto.
It's like trying to rack my brain around crypto is really intense. So like having to actually do that as a job without actually having any qualifications to
100%,
do it is just wild.
Yeah.
Was it mostly the philanthropy side of it that drove you to that platform particularly, or was there other aspects of it?
Yeah, I would say yes immediately, because I basically saw it and went, oh, helping out people in the services, I'd love to do that. That sounds great. So, but it was never for me a career thing. I was never like, oh, I'm going to work here. Like, I was quite literally like, do you want me to help run an event or something to help raise some money for some veterans? Like, I really wasn't looking for a career change. I was happy doing business. Like, it was never about that. It was never even like, oh, I want to work in crypto. I want to work in finance. I invested in crypto as myself, so I understood it. I've kind of invested in stocks and crypto before that. So at least I understood and understand the kind of the world. But at the end of the day, I'm a businesswoman. That's kind of where I am. I'm not a crypto. I'm not tech. Like that. I'm not finance. I am now, because I'm learning very, very quickly. I have to be. So essentially it was a philanthropy side of things, but also like I really enjoy taking something from conception or kind of 2-3 years into a company and like building it, because that's kind of what I've done naturally and organically. I really love that. It doesn't even matter what industry it is. I didn't clean my own car really, like, I'm really not bothered, but I built a business on it. So, I don't even really like coffee that much, but I've run a coffee company. So when you think about it, it's just about building something through business. But this had that little edge of like helping others. And I thought I might be able to help here. But it just evolved into a career path, and it really wasn't about that. It was literally like a volunteering, like, hey, I'll help.
And then you ended up being the CEO.
And now I'm the CEO.
Are you still the CEO?
I'm the CEO.
So what inspired you to actually take on that CEO position? Is it just another one where you're like, yeah, I'll take on the new challenge?
Yeah, 100%. Didn't come from me, neither did, the head of relations then into head of partnerships was offered to me, and I was kind of like, yeah, actually I'm good at forming, like I'm good at writing emails, I'm good at writing things, like, I'm kind of good at academically like that. And I was like, I can wing emails to people, I can create partnerships, because I've had to do it anyway through business. So I was kind of like, yeah, I'll take that on, like that sounds good. Again, the CEO thing was, I was asked by, board members, and I was like, yeah, right. Let's go for it. They think
really highly of you though, if board members are like, we want you.
Yeah, and I think very much like, it's one of those ones where, you get asked to do something, you think, I don't even know if I'm capable of this.
Yeah, the imposter syndrome really kicks
100%.
in.
I don't know if I'm capable of this. I can run businesses, so therefore there's something there. But this is kind of out there in terms of the industry. But then I thought to myself, but so was the detailing industry that I, worked in. So was the coffee industry. Like, so was fitness when I first joined it. So when you think about it, like, I've done it already. Like, kind of, I've thrown myself into the deep end already. What's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to take the role, and everyone's going to look to me for approvals, and I'm going to go, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to learn really, really fast.
That's what the heads of are for.
Right? and at the end of the day, if it really isn't for me, and I actually think, do you know what? I'm not giving the company the justice it deserves, then I'll step down.
Yeah.
I'll step back and I'll hire someone to replace me, and I've got no problem with that, and I'll move on and I'll do something else. No issues. I wasn't looking for that job. I was running businesses. So it wasn't like I was losing anything.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, I can fall back if I need to. Like, there's no risk here. If I don't make an impact, if I don't think it's for me, so it's okay.
How has the platform evolved under you as the CEO?
Just growth in terms of new developments. So the idea of instant aid is coming in, which is essentially to help cross-border payments. So think of so cryptocurrency is instant, right? So as in, when you go to the bank and you want to send money to like a different country that's, really far away, it takes like days.
Yeah.
Or let's say charities, okay, you want to donate to someone in Kenya. It can take 30 days through a charity.
Oh, wow.
And they take loads of fees out of it. So actually the money that you've donated doesn't always, like not all of it gets to the end user. Yeah. With cryptocurrency, you send it from one wallet to another wallet, 100% of it gets there. It gets there instantly on the XRPL, which is the ledger that Ripple use. It's instant. Well, it's near instant, but it's basically instant. It gets there instantly, 100% of it lands, and you can see it on what's kind of, it's a transaction hash. You can see it on the blockchain. So there's proof of funds, right? So when companies are wanting to send large amounts of money for kind of their like corporate, social responsibility and their ESG, you've automatically kind of said to maybe your customers or something, look what we did. There's proof of it. 100% of it has landed, and it's instant. So cryptocurrency is changing the way that charities run, and that's really where I'm wanting to take the direction. So yes, very much keeping the service people, personnel, in mind, but thinking bigger about actually how we can really use it to like globally change lives, get funds to people in other countries quicker, cheaper as well. Transaction fees are so low, and kind of change and revolutionize the way that giving is done on a whole as well. So that's kind of what I'm hoping that I can kind of execute down the line. Obviously these things take a lot of time to build. It's not easy, which I didn't know when I started.
It's not as instant as a transaction.
It's not an instant transaction, and it's not cheap transaction. It's not as cheap as you think building these things. Yeah. It's a lot of investment into a company as well. We won the Social Impact of the Year award. It was at the Women of IT Awards, and that was really, really cool because it was kind of like, I've done something. Like, I've done something in the small amount of time that I've been, CEO of the company. Like, we won an award. Amazing, great. It's a nice boost to go, actually, I might be making a difference here. Other people think I'm doing something right. Yay.
She also just wanted to tell us that she'd won another award.
That was it. It was just, I'm just adding the list in.
I just wanted to casually drop that in.
Just drop that one in, yeah.
No, I mean, it's amazing. And like, you were saying that there isn't that many women. Well, I don't know any women in that industry.
Yeah.
What are the challenges you've faced kind of coming into that industry, especially as it's so male dominated?
So I've had lots of experience in male-dominated industries already, so automotive being the biggest one, and I've kind of faced a lot of adversity in that and a lot of idiots, if I'm honest with you. Coming into the crypto industry, and then the kind of finance side of things, I'd already had that knowledge of men might just go away, girl, so I already kind of had that thing, but actually I found it okay. So when I've gone to conferences, men in dark suits, me in a pink blazer, like loving my life, and kind of being different, standing out. I think that the men in the finance industry are a lot happier to see you, or at least they pretend they are, whether they are or they're not. They're a lot more kind of welcoming than I expected.
Okay.
I thought I would be put down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really did. I don't feel like that actually, which is really, really nice. And that really shocked me. I've never actually had a real problem at all in the finance, fintech industry. The motorsport industry, the kind of automotive side of things, very much so. So I think the expectation of people going, oh, you're a woman in finance, oh, that must be hard. What do the men do? Actually, they've been really good.
Oh, wow. That's really amazing.
Behind my back might be different. Wouldn't know. But I haven't felt that real. I also think I'm quite like, whatever. Like, I don't have that real like, oh, are they going to think that I'm rubbish? Like, I don't care. Like, I know I'm good at what I do. I don't care what you think. So maybe I'm not looking for it.
Yeah.
I'm not noticing it because I'm not looking for it, potentially.
How do you get yourself to the mindset where you're like, I don't care?
I've never cared.
Okay, fair enough.
I've never cared. I'm that person who's just like, I'm just going to do what I want to do. If you don't like it, lump it. As long as I'm ethical, I'm good, I'm happy. Like, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to do me. That's
how you ended up in the Army Reserves and I didn't. Not that I would ever do it anyway, but like, that's how you ended up doing something like that. But that's really nice to hear, because I think you always hear like the negative stuff, but I think that people are trying to be more inclusive.
I think so. I think there's industries that aren't. I do know for a fact that a lot of the automotive industry still is just not welcoming. Like, shake my business partner's hand, but don't shake my hand. Sorry, what now?
Wow.
Yeah. Or like or I say, have you got any questions in person? They say no. And then they go to a colleague
and ask them
a question.
questions.
And I'm standing there like, I'm a business owner here.
But they don't know that. That's really cheeky.
I don't think they care. Either they think that I'm really stupid and I know nothing about cars, or they are just being that, like, just being stupid. I don't know. I really don't know. But there's been so much where I've just been like, you just want to facepalm. Just want to
facepalm is a polite way of putting it.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is.
But did you know there's a correlation between wearing pink and not knowing anything?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. How would I know anything about cars?
Oh yeah. I mean, but then like people would argue that if you're like the first woman in anything, or like one of very few women in anything, that you're a role model. And like, I mean, what advice would you give to young women that kind of want to break into the fintech industry but maybe don't have the same mindset you do about not caring?
Yeah, because it is nerve-wracking. Like, you know you're going to like a crypto conference, and full well there's going to be loads of men there. It is not like it is. I totally get it, and not everyone's going to be so gung-ho of me walking in like, hi, goodbye. Like, not everyone's going to be like that. Totally. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is to have that confidence, even if you don't actually feel that confident and you are a bit nervous. Like, go in with a smile on your face, and people will smile back. It's human nature. Go and shake someone's hand and say, hi, what do you do? They will speak to you. Like, then you start to kind of, okay, you can cling to that person for the rest of the day if you don't know anyone, because you've already spoken to them. Work the room and work out who you're going to cling to. And it opens up doors, and then you don't feel so alone. And I think breaking into an industry that's male-dominated, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
100% stand up for yourself. And it is scary, but sometimes men don't realise that they're actually being idiots. They don't realise that they may be patronising you. Maybe they think they're helping you. Like, when people are like, oh, do you want me to carry that? And you're like, oh, I have arms. Like, I can do it. Maybe they just think they're helping. Or maybe we'll turn around and go, oh, I can do it. Just because I'm a woman, it doesn't mean I can. I actually think sometimes some men do want to help. They don't know how to approach a situation, maybe.
They've never interacted with anyone in that space.
Totally. And a lot of people in high-tech environments can slightly be socially awkward, or they don't really know how to communicate as well.
Sorry, carry on. I'm just thinking about people I know that work in that, and I'm like, I see
and
it.
It's a generalization, and I wouldn't stereotype, but I know that a lot of people who do sit behind a computer desk and do work on high tech things quite often are very comfortable there, and socializing it easy. So what you've got to remember is, just because you're a woman walking into an environment that might be full of men and you might be a bit nervous, they might be just as nervous being there.
Yeah.
Just because you're a guy doesn't mean you're confident, right? Yeah. So I guess just remembering that everyone's in the same boat, and I think just, stand up for yourself.
I was just thinking about a Big Bang Theory moment where like a woman walks into the comic book store and they're like, oh my God, like, what do we do? Everyone panics.
How do we speak to them?
Everyone's just panicking the same amount as each other.
Yeah.
What would you say your future goals and aspirations are in the world of fintech?
Hard one, because I don't really know yet.
You just wing it. You're like the queen of winging it.
I feel like I've only just started in the fintech world, so I am actually thinking small now, which isn't like that for me. Normally I'm thinking like bigger than big. How the hell am I going to get there for things? But I'm actually thinking small, and I'm kind of thinking like, do this company justice, really think small and think actually realistic, because it's got the power to help people. And essentially I have the power to help people. So like, let's not be risky here. Let's think small. So I think my main goal is to help as many people as possible using the blockchain and cryptocurrency, and kind of seeing what happens in between. I'd like to be the sort of person who can kind of speak about things, be like an expert in my field, and actually be able to go on stage and speak about it, and not be sat on a panel just about women with women. Yeah. Like, I want to be that person who is actually kind of respected for their knowledge.
Like the TED Talk.
Yeah, basically. I've got a speaking thing in November in Saudi Arabia, and they're flying me out to Saudi Arabia to speak. And I'm like, oh my goodness.
That's massive.
It's not to speak about what it's like to be a woman it's actually about knowledge. And to me, that's a huge turning point, because you just, especially at the minute, you don't, right? It's a big thing out there. Yeah. Like, it's nerve-wracking, but like, I want to be that person who is able to actually be respected in the industry for knowledge, not just because I'm a woman and there's a few of us. You get what I mean?
I get. No, I understand.
So I think that's the goal for the company, is to help as many people along the way and actually be the kind of paving the way to kind of what we can do with charity and crypto, because crypto has a really bad rep. Like a lot of people just see the negative side of things, but it has the power to do so much good, and that's never talked about. So I think being like the company and the CEO that puts crypto up there as good, I think would be my main goal. I don't want to go too massive with this one.
I mean, I didn't even realize that you could use crypto as a way of like donation and ensuring that 100% of your donation reaches to wherever it's supposed to go. Yeah. I never even thought about it that way. I just thought about people investing and losing all their money.
Totally, right? And that's
my knowledge of cryptocurrency.
And that's all I seem to kind of get people thinking is like, oh, you run this thing, you must take millions. And it's like, I don't see the money. Like, when people invest and it's gone through an exchange and stuff, like, it doesn't work like that. And I think there's a lot of people don't really understand crypto enough, but they have an opinion that's always quite negative. And I think if maybe as a company, if we educated people better, then people would understand. You know, if I as a CEO go, right, marketing, start educating people on crypto, then you're not just going to kind of increase your kind of token holders potentially, but you're actually going to have people who are completely new to this industry understand it and maybe change their opinions. When they're down in the pub talking about crypto, everyone's all negative. One person might go, yeah, but did you know you can give to charity and it can do good for people?
I'd be that person. If I heard somebody at the pub talking about cryptocurrency, I'd roll my eyes so hard. You'd hear them on the floor like...
Yeah, but if we can be that company that changes the view on even a tiny proportion of people, then I've done my job, I think, because it means that more people know about it, more people might be helped, more institutions, more, big corporations might want to kind of use the technology to do good for their donations. We're on to a winner. More people are getting helped.
I mean, yeah, you've educated me on it, and you've already like changed my opinion on it, being sat here for like 20 minutes. So
nice.
At least you're doing your job right. Because now I see like there is maybe a positive aspect of it rather than what I consider loads of boring stuff. Yeah, I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. But earlier you were talking about how, you've had your fingers in many pies and you've dipped your way through so many businesses. And you were talking about how you probably didn't utilize your time or you spread yourself too thin. How did you even manage to do one, let alone three?
Honestly, there's no blueprint for this at all. It's very much take every day as it comes. I'm good at like timekeeping and stuff, but I'm not the best organizer and I'm not the best at focusing, which is vital. It's vital for my role, and it's been vital throughout my whole kind of business journey to do that. But actually I have to understand myself and go, okay, I know I'm not the best at focusing in and I get distracted very, very easily, and I think that's why I've done so much. Okay. Because I go, oh, shiny new thing, I'm going to try that.
It's like a kid with a toy, yeah.
Shiny new thing, I'm going to try that. That's why I've done so much, because shiny new things come along and this is exciting, yay, let's do it. So I think it's reining yourself in and going, right, don't take on too much.
Yeah.
When you're exhausted, when you're exhausted, but you need to know when to stop. Because I've had problems where I just keep going, workaholic. You need to like stop. And then when you start to say no to small things, like, can you do this? And you're like, I could, but I shouldn't.
Yeah.
When you say no to something, you should feel good about that, because you've then got time to focus. Because what happens is one business starts to suffer, or your personal life starts to suffer, or your health starts to suffer when you're doing too much.
Yeah.
So I think there's no blueprint for it, because everyone's lives are different and everyone will want to prioritize work, personal, relationship, however they want to do it. But I think for myself, work-wise, I've just gone with the flow. And I know that's not even very helpful for people at all. But I guess it's useful to know that like people who get on these Forbes lists, right? People who do well in business, they don't have like a set plan.
No, they just see an opportunity and go for it.
Yeah, and they don't necessarily have all their ducks in a row. Like, I'm not always focused. I do have bad days. Like, sometimes I take on too much and I get really tired and I get really exhausted and it's really hard. And I think the reality of that is probably important for people to know, that I don't have this amazing journal that I stick to every single day and I take down how much water I do. Because the problem is I buy those fun planners, I do 2 weeks, I get bored of them. And
That's
then I'll
more
buy
realistic.
another one and then I get bored of that one. Right, and I have the intention to drink this much water and do this much exercise and do all of this. And I'm too busy to even write it down. So for me, there's no plan. I just wake up in the day and hope that I fit it all in.
So you're not that CEO on LinkedIn that's like, I get up at 4:30 every morning and do
Absolutely
an ice
not.
bath. And...
Absolutely not. I live what I would call a normal life. I just have a lot to do in that time, and if I've slept in a bit too late, it's my own fault.
It's one of those things.
I have to do it in the evening, or I'll push it to the next day. Like, I'm not perfect, and I do not think that there is a perfect way of planning and organising your day. I think productivity is very much what you make it is personal. Like, I could write a blueprint for what I think everyone should do in their day because I've managed to get to here or whatever in my career.
Yeah.
And if you do the same as me, you're going to get there. It's unrealistic. Why would I do it? Because everyone's different.
I think it's a really good thing that you were saying about saying no to little things, because when I first started my career, I'd get really frustrated if I'd ask somebody to help me do something, but it wasn't technically in their remit.
Yep.
They could help me and they'd say no, and I'd be like, oh, it's so frustrating. You would just make my life slightly easier. But now I'm older, I get it, because like, you're actually, no, that's not in my remit. I'm trying to manage what I think is a priority for me. And now I get it. Now I'm older. When I was younger, I used to be like, oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, I would be the first person to also be annoyed, even though I'm the person who would drop, like, so I totally get it. It's completely normal, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I just think sometimes, like, if something's going to give, don't make it your health.
Yeah.
Don't make it your relationship. Like, work isn't everything. We've got, all of us, we've got such big goals. We want to achieve something. But like, if it's at the detriment in your, day, week, month, year of the other things, we've got to prioritize. I have only just learned this. I am still learning to get it right, get the work-life balance. I don't know if I'll ever get it right because I am that workaholic kind of mentality.
Yeah.
But like, something's going to give eventually. And I'm not letting it be my health.
So how do you know, or how have you decided when to let things go? Like, what do you let go?
If it's not going to enhance my life massively or enhance my career on a big scale, then I probably don't need it. So I was that person who would just like do anything, like, oh, that's a cool opportunity, I'll apply for that. Oh, that's a cool opportunity, I'll apply for that, just because it seemed fun. Yeah, again, shiny new toy, right? Oh yeah, that looks fun, I'll do that. Is it adding to my career? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like truly adding, as in it's really going to add something. Like speaking on a stage somewhere. Like, yes, that probably will. So fine. But like, just attending an event. But if it means I've got to take a day off work or do this, is it going to enhance my life or enhance my career to a point where I can notably say yes? If it doesn't, in the bin, because it's not worth it. Unless you can carry on. But if you really have to be cutthroat, think about enhancement.
No, I think that's a really good way to think about it. I think that's something that's relevant in every industry, because when I first started doing like the public facing stuff, you get thrown shiny new toys left, right and center. And when I first came into it, I was like, I need to be at everything all of the time. And then I'd get to, I want to say Sunday before the next week, and you don't get the weekend off because you've got that workaholic mentality. And then you got to do it all over again, and then you don't get that break. And I did make myself ill.
Yeah, totally.
Like, I was very unwell, and like, you weren't eating right, so my weight wasn't what I consider healthy. I didn't look healthy. I didn't feel good about myself. So I think it's in every industry, not necessarily just the fintech ones or like business, or even being self-employed. Any industry, doing anything, you need to be able to like decide what you think is important to you.
100%, like pick and choose. You really have to. And that is really hard work, because let's say you've got 10 really cool things coming up in the month, and you've got your breaks in between, and then a few more things get dangled in front of you. It's really hard to not go, oh please. But you've also got to pick what like sets your soul on fire. Like, what do you really love, right? So, if I'm getting invited to an event that's going to be really like, could be really changing, I could have some real value to it, then like, yeah, of course I'm going to go. But if it's just like a PR event isn't like, it's nice to be invited, obviously, like lovely, cool. If it's not gonna actually like really have an impact on anything, then I can drop it. And I think it's okay to say no.
This is when I talk to people that don't necessarily have ever done a beauty pageant, don't really get it. When they're like, oh, but it takes so much effort and time, and I was like, but I don't have to change my life to fit into it. Like, it's just an addition. And
Correct,
it's like a confidence booster for me. So for me, I don't see it as a waste of time or as a loads of additional hard work, because I do the hard work already. It's just the nice shiny dress at the end.
But your appearances you can put into your like life.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of like do them as you're planning events and things to do. Like you can kind of do that in. Like you say, you don't need to spend, it's not a full-time job doing a pageant. Like it doesn't need to be. Those that make it that way, fab. But it's not like, I didn't think it needs to be a full-time job.
But then it's like attending PR events doesn't need to be a full-time job either.
Correct, yeah. But then for some people, that's what they want to do, crack on. But I think if you really want to have like a bit of everything, for me, I think it's best dabble of this, dabble of this, dabble of this. And then that way you're kind of getting a bit of fun, but you're not burning out. You're having a bit of rest time. You're getting a bit of a shiny new toy over there.
Not to make this about me, but the fact you've made time to come to my podcast means that this is, you see this as value to your career.
Definite value to my career.
So I'm just like going to massage my own ego for like 5 seconds.
Well, this is my first podcast.
Oh,
yeah, it's my first podcast. Yeah.
That's why you had to drop all the like awards.
But no, but the thing is, I've said no to podcasts before because I've just been like, it's either not been the right industry type podcast, or I've not felt that it would be. I felt like I'd be grilled.
Yeah.
You know, I really like grilled on like, well, and actually I thought I already knew who you were anyway.
It's a really nice reunion after 11 years.
And also the kind of the ethos of the podcast suits me well. Like I very much stand up for women in business, and I very much kind of stand up for that. So I thought it fitted well for me. Like so it made the yes.
Oh, so this is just what I needed to. This has made my day. Like that little ego boost, drop of dopamine for me. Don't need to go to the gym later now. So I always ask all of my guests the same final question. So I'd like to know if you could give yourself a piece of advice, or give your younger self a piece of advice based on your life and career journey so far, what would it be and why?
Stand up for yourself, because I do now. And like we've spoken about before, like when you're in a male-dominated environment and someone is treating you very badly, I wouldn't speak up for myself. I was very much like, oh, idiot. Now I'd be like, excuse me, you know, don't, just because I'm a woman doesn't mean you can't shake my hand. Like I would stand up for myself.
Yeah.
And I think that I used to feel that I couldn't do that, maybe because, I don't know, maybe I wasn't confident enough, maybe I was too shy, or maybe I think that they would retaliate in a really bad way or something. But I actually think, like, stand up for yourself. If there's something you believe in, stand up for yourself. Like, to me, gender equality is huge. And the fact that I've been subject to adversity because of my gender, like, shout about it, stand up about it. And if you've got something that really, like, irks you, like annoys you to the point of you, like inside it gets you fired up, speak about it, share it, stand up for yourself.
I actually find as well, it's very human nature that if you tell someone they're in the wrong, they don't necessarily want to retaliate. Like,
yeah, quite possibly.
They don't want to upset you, so they kind of like go back on it.
Yeah.
But then also, if you're willing to stand up for yourself, they're going to respect you a lot more straight away. But
also, it really annoys me when people talk about a problem. Oh, I hate it when people do blah, 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 do this. Or I hate it when men treat women like this one. All right, so what have you done about it then? What are you going to do about it? Like, don't come at me with a problem, come at me with a solution. And like, that's the way I think that my younger self, now I'm like, solution, solution, solution. If there's a problem and I don't like it, tell someone about it, because then they can tell someone else about it and tell someone else about it. We're never going to change things if we just complain about it, take action. But yeah, standing up for yourself all day.
I'm going to soundbite that and just send it to all my trolls and they come at me with a problem.
Do you know what I mean? Like, a solution.
Just going to send them,
like,
Leanne.
good problem. You're not going to change anything by complaining about it. Do something about it.
Oh, well, that's a really good way to end the podcast. And I actually agree with that. And I love to see everything you've done since the last time we saw each other 11 years ago.
How cool.
And I can't wait to see you put on your sparkly new dress and go for the next shiny new thing.
Yeah.
Because no, I think you should always just go for those challenges. So I can't wait to see you do that. And now I'm actually going to look into cryptocurrency rather than roll my eyes at people that talk about it.
I've done my job today. Brilliant.
Both very happy women sat here.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.